Welcome to part 2 of my Friday night chats. So this one is going to focus on some items that I got while I went to a couple of thrift stores. Now, we were in a situation where we had left one hotel and we were driving a few hours to get to the next hotel so we could stay the night to go into a park, I think Yosemite, early the next morning. Unfortunately, the hotel wouldn't allow us in until 4. And we were a couple hours early, and we were in a town and there were some thrift stores. So I was like, why don't we just at least go into some of these thrift stores and, waste some time? I'm really glad I did. Now, I found a bunch of puzzles for $2 each. I already made a video about that, and I posted it on my puzzle channel. But while I was in the stores, I found a bunch of books. So when I was in the different thrift stores, I'm going to combine them, but in one store, they had 3 books for $1, and I found 3 John Wyndham books. Now, they are a little beaten up, but they're still cool, and I recently was on a John Wyndham kick. I need to read more, and not all of these are in that series that I have. So this one is Out of the Deeps. By the way, this one is called Jizzle. It's not a porn novel. Out of the Deeps. And then this one is The Kraken Wakes, which I read that one. That one was really good. And then in another shop, I found some vintage paperbacks, and they were 50 cents, I think, each. So this one had an interesting cover, War Bonnet Law, or The Gun by Frank O'Rourke. The story of Roy Bean. I haven't actually seen this movie, but I really liked that cover. I think the movie is called Judge Roy Bean. A Stillness at Appomattox. Now, I know that was a battle for the Civil War. And I remember this being important when I went to Valley Forge, I think, or it was there on the shelf. But to get this in these are Cardinal books. And this was a 50 cent book. And I believe this one won the Pulitzer Prize, yeah. And then I found Adele Shakespeare. I might have to try to hunt more of these down. That one is very minimal, but it's really nice. And then finally, another Cardinal book, Mutiny on the Bounty. This one needs to be cleaned up a bit. But for 50 cents, what a cool book to get. At one of those stores, I also found this pretty beat up copy of Christmas with Norman Rockwell. Now, I'm going to try to fix this cover up a bit. It's torn here. I think I'm going to take off the front cover and tape it. And then I'm also going to try to put it flat so that maybe it wouldn't curl up like that. I'm sure I can make it looking better. But this was $5. It's worth it for not only the history, because it goes through it, but you got these full page Norman Rockwell images from the Saturday Evening Post. It even had yeah, so this would be a fun book to go over. Once I read the text, I will go over it. And there's even one that folds out to 4. That's a little awkward, so I'm not going to do it right here. But it's a 4-page panel that spreads out. So yeah, even though it's tore up a bit, I think this was well worth $5. And that's going to lead me to the final thing that I got at thrift stores. And that was, I found a set of Norman Rockwell mugs. And there were 6 of them. And I could not believe, and they're in beautiful condition. I could not believe the price that I paid for these 6 Norman Rockwell mugs. And that is going to be, for 6 mugs, $8. And what a steal. Now, my sister collects Norman Rockwell, and I'm wondering if she has these. And if she doesn't, I need to wrap these up and send them to her. But I'm worried that they'll break in the mail. But wow, beautiful, beautiful mugs. Next, I'm going to have to start collecting the Norman Rockwell plates, but I have nowhere to put those. And the final thing that I want to say is that after I dropped my friend off in the San Fernando Valley, I had arranged to pick up some Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew books, 10 books for $20. Not the greatest price, but still a lot better than most out there. And so I was able to get the first 5 books of the Hardy Boys, And I thought I was getting the first 5 of Nancy Drew, but I actually got 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So instead of number 2, I got number 6. Yeah, I'm very interested in reading these. I think the cover art is gorgeous. If nothing else, I would like to try to scan the cover art and possibly make an art book out of this. I was inspired from Donald Rex. He's made 1 book so far. He's making another one. I can't wait to get that. Those books are gorgeous. I'm wondering if I could blow these up 1 per page and do the entire original and this set of Nancy Drew art and also Hardy Boys, which would make it about 200 pages, I would think. So that's it for my Friday Night Chat. I also put out a video of some shops that I went to, especially for comics. I did also buy some albums. I put that in another video. And then there were a couple others that I just didn't bother to put into this video. But as always, all of your comments are greatly appreciated.